So this is my 2024 plan for FTMO stock trading success. This video will be split up into 5 parts. We will start with the very first part, which is the idea. So this is the part that I want to explain now, but you should definitely watch the video until the end so you can have a look at all the parts of this project, like the whole development process for my strategy, and you will see the first actual results in the end of this video. So let's start with the idea. So recently I already published a video that goes into this direction. Back then I was working with indices, and you probably saw this video and I explained a bit about this idea already. As you know, the main goal of pretty much everyone in the world, or at least in the financial sector, is a growing economy. So the goal of governments and huge companies is progress. And this is the key baseline of my whole strategy and my whole plan for this stock trading idea. So the general thought is that on average, companies should grow in value because there are smart people working on this on a daily basis. So my idea here is to not invest in Forex pairs this time that can have good periods and bad periods, depends on which side you are, for example, for a Forex pair. But the idea is to use this economical concept of growing economies. So we will invest in stocks this time. So the idea was to find a strategy that is going only long in selected stock markets. So there are different factors that were important when I started to have a look at this project first. Of course, I had to figure out, can I trade these stocks? How can I trade them? What are the costs? And is this even profitable, or can it even be profitable? So this was the second step of my journey here, which is the preparation. Since I wanted to do this project as a FTMO or prop firm challenge, I first had to scan the available symbols at FTMO, and I found out that they have a bunch of stock CFDs. It's not a really big basket where you can find pretty much every symbol or every stock that is available at normal stock exchanges. So I had a look at this list, and for me the most important points were: how big is the spread and how big is the commission? And a third point is also, how big is the slippage? And is there a lot of slippage? How volatile are these CFDs? Because in the back of my mind there was always this thought that when you trade a CFD based on a stock underlying, you do not trade the stock. And this is something that new traders first have to learn and to understand, because the stock is traded at a stock exchange, which is a fair concept. But if you trade CFDs, you just trade a contract for difference, which is a contract that you only have with a broker. In this case, it is FTMO, or their brokerage clearing mechanism, and they do not have to give you the exact same prices that you can see at stock exchanges. And they do not have to give you the exact same execution. So first of all, I had to look at the spread, and I figured out that especially for these big stocks like Apple, Google, Netflix, all of these stocks, they have a quite okay spread. It's the spread that you would also see if you would trade the stock at a stock exchange, which is great. So next up was having to look at the costs, like the commission, because when you trade with FTMO, you will pay a commission for every single trade. And for these stock CFDs, it's not based on like a fixed commission per lot, but you pay a commission for the amount of money you invest, so to say. So for example, if you would buy stocks that have a value of 100,000 US dollars, you will pay a percentage of this as a commission. So I did my first test runs in the strategy tester to figure out how big is this cost block. And I realized that just the spread is kind of okay for most of these CFDs. And then I figured out that the trading costs, like the commission, they are pretty much even lower. So overall the trading costs were okay for me, and I just had to figure out how big the slippage was. But before I was able to have a look at the slippage, which you can just see like if you trade it live or in a live challenge, before this I had to go to the third step of my process here, which is the actual work. And the work is probably the biggest block whenever you try to find a new strategy in a market, because the work for me is finding a strategy that you can use and then testing the strategy in the tester. And especially like when you start testing, it makes sense to use the optimization so you can see in which direction you should design your strategy or your inputs. And since I have existing strategies already, for me the easiest thing was to choose one of these strategies, and I went for the range breakout expert advisor. This is not surprising for you if you follow this channel for a while, because this is one of my main programs that I use for multiple years now, and they are like the markets where I use this were mainly Forex pairs right now, but they were consistently profitable over the last years. So the easiest choice for me was to go for this strategy first when I had a look at this stock CFD trading now. And since the idea was to only trade long, I did a lot of optimization runs for the main CFDs that I found at FTMO that have the overall lowest trading cost. And I figured out that I can create some really good profit factors, especially for some of the technology CFDs. This is of course because in the past these values were increasing like really heavily, and this is always in the back of my mind. So I do not go and have a look at these optimization runs completely blindly, because I always have to put this into perspective. So for example, if I see a profit factor of 1.7 or 2.0, which is really great, and I saw some of these profit factors when I did the testing, I still have to think about why is it that big or that good. And then you have to realize like the stocks were really on a good rally in the last few years, and the question is if it can go on like this. But this is kind of the bet that I'm taking with this project also in the upcoming time. So I did a lot of testing, took me several days, some weeks, especially on the weekends. I was really busy, or not me, but the VPS that I'm testing and optimizing on was really busy, and it was a lot of work. But then I found some settings and decided to use these in the live FTMO challenge. And this is where the fourth part starts with, which is the actual setup. So I just opened another FTMO account. This was a 100k challenge, downloaded another FTMO MetaTrader 5 terminal, installed it on my VPS, which is now the fourth MetaTrader terminal that I run from FTMO on this VPS, because I run different projects at the same time. And I picked my 4 markets that I wanted to start with, and I started with 2 markets first, just to figure out if this works. So I wanted to check if the slippage is huge, and how the costs are in an actual realistic environment. And I figured out with these 2 markets, the first few days were actually profitable, everything was good. And I also had to get some experience with stock trading, because it's different than Forex or CFD trading, or I mean other CFDs, because for stock CFDs, for FTMO, you only have a leverage of I think like 3. So what this means is if you have, for example, 100k in your account, you can invest up to 300k, I think. So I had to figure out how this works. How many positions can I have open at the same time? And then at some point I switched to 4 markets, and these are the 4 markets or stocks that I use right now for the last weeks. And I had to go down with the lot size, because I figured out if all of these markets would open a position, I would have problems with the margin. So now I'm trading at the moment with 0.5% in these 4 markets. But also I'm still learning now. So the learning process is never over, because I realized that it's highly unlikely that all of these 4 stocks get a position on the same day, because I only trade long. So in the future I might switch back to 0.5 75% or maybe even 1%, and then add some more code to my program to restrict like the total amount of open positions. But this is a continuous progress, and I will maybe talk more about this on the channel if you are interested in this. And now let's have a look at the last step, the actual results. Because I run this in the live challenge, it's not a live account, but it's a live challenge. I mean, you get what I mean, for the last few weeks. And these are the results. So let's have a look at them together now. So let's have a look at the results so far. So here you can see my FTMO workspace pretty much. This is the account that I use for this specific challenge. You can also see in the chart that it highlights the ranges, and you can also see there were trades taken. And of course, we see that we only take these trades if there was a long breakout. And for example, in Amazon, this worked out really great. Of course, we do not take all of the positive trades, but we also do not take a lot of the negative trades. And this is where I think the power of this approach is, because, like, again, the general idea is markets go up, so we only trade long. Also, Apple, you can see a lot of trades, 4 trades so far, and then I have Meta and Tesla. These, I think charts were set up some days later. Tesla also had a lot of trades, and Meta only had 2 trades so far. So how did this turn out in the last days? And we will have a look at the FTMO metrics soon. But first of all, let's have a look at the history. Here we can see the balance is right now up $500, so 0.5%. It was better before. As if we have a look at the history here, started trading with Amazon and Apple only, I think, on the first day. And here we had, these are all the trades that were done in the account so far. You can see the profits are usually something between 0 and $300 to $400, and the losses are also in this range. But right now there's still a positive ratio from profits to losses. So let's have a look now at the FTMO metrics. So this is the FTMO challenge, and you can see it is in profit right now by about €500. It was in profit at the peak by 1,900 euro or US dollar. It's a US dollar challenge, and I'm trading 11 trading days so far, which means that the only profit target or the only aim here, the only goal is to reach the 10K profit target. And the chances are, in my opinion, quite good. I will keep you updated on the channel if you like it. Also, let's have a look at the symbols. As I said, Amazon was doing great. Tesla did a lot of trades, but is not profitable so far. And Apple and Meta are, a little bit in the profitable area, so they are doing just fine. So now I need your help or your feedback. Let me know in the comments of this video if you want to see more about this challenge. Should I keep you updated how this goes in the upcoming year 2024? So let me know by writing a comment, and also give a thumbs up for this video if you want to see this content. I know until this point I worked a lot with Forex and also index CFDs. This time it's a new topic where I trade stock CFDs. So let me know what you think, and I will do this project no matter what you think. But if you want to see it, I will of course talk about this more on the channel. And then in the end, there's nothing more to say than have a great start into the new year 2024. Enjoy trading in this year. Always make sure that you do not overtrade and that you make your analysis like I showed in this video before you trade something live. So thanks for watching. Have a great time. Good trades. Bye bye.